Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Limitless Alpha. My name is Umro, and today we're accompanied by the CEO of Fintech startup Foloosi, Omar Bin Brik.
Thank you for having me on your show, Amro. I've known you since the time that you was in Nasiba. Having seen you around in the tech ecosystem, definitely I've seen your interest, and I'm very pleasured and proud to be on your show today.
Thank you for joining us. I actually met Omar at my previous job. I used to reach out to the CEOs of startups, but I was surprised when Omar contacted me himself. That was the first signs of leadership that I've seen in Omar. Let me be clear. Leadership is defined by a person who is willing to share their invaluable experience. So thank you again for joining us. Question number 1. Could you please tell us what services does Foloosi provide?
Sure. Foloosi enables businesses in the UAE to accept card payments online. We mainly target SMEs and startups, those who are not accommodated by the traditional payment gateways. And we complement the banking system by providing different features to allow customers to make a payment with their cards, with their bank cards.
And is it only for SMEs, or can a regular person who's walking down the street, for example, use your application?
Okay, so you've got to be a business with a trade license to accept a card payment. Mm-hmm. However, you can be any person to make a payment yourself, to initiate a payment. You could be any person. So we have businesses who accept card payments from different multiple kind of clients or customers for the products and services that they sell. We also have a value add-on application mobile app where we have integrated a few government entities for telecoms and billers such as electricity and water, which allows customers to make a payment for their bills and mobile recharges.
So correct me if I'm mistaken. That allows the end user, any person, to pay, for example, for their telecommunication company or electricity bills. Is that correct?
Correct.
On today's episode of Secrets to Success, how did you come up with the idea? What was your moment?
It was the digital transformation moment. So when I saw that the world is moving away from paper cards for train stations and stuff like that, and then I saw that bank cards were actually moving away from having to input your chip and PIN to having a chip in there for a touch. So I realized that the world is going into a proper digital transformation and using the smartphones for payments. What's happening now with Apple Pay, with the one-touch kind of payments. Tap your phone on a device and you can make a payment. So I realized that there is an opportunity to make payments feasible and convenient for both the clients and the customers and the sellers through a mobile phone, through a smartphone.
Mm-hmm. And did you always have this interest in technology? Or were you sitting, for example, and one day you were like, why don't they have this technology? Does it even exist?
I've always had interest in entrepreneurship, not necessarily in the technology industry. However, with being an entrepreneur, you always look for problems that you can solve, You brainstorm the kind of solutions that you can solve in this problem. For example, in the UAE, we can see that we saw that in 2017, the actual figures were 85% of online shoppers prefer cash on delivery as a payment method. So I realized, why is that the case? Is it the fact that they did not like to enter their card information online? Is it fraud risks? Is it security reasons? Or is it that they just did not want to pay with their cards, or whatever the issue they were facing? So these were the problems. The UAE Central Bank figures show that 75% of the whole UAE economy are cash-based transactions. So this is also something that I thought that we could have a part in, especially with the digital transformation vision of the UAE. So we played our part, complementing the banking system, complementing the payment of cards, allowing businesses to have a cheaper way, more convenient way, much more flexible ways of accepting card payments. Likewise, allowing customers to feel more secure, to feel more convenient in making a payment with their cards, with their bank cards.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea, because similar to advanced cities such as New York or Singapore, I think one of the most important things that Dubai has done was the digital transformation strategy. How much is your startup worth at the moment?
Okay, so at the moment, it's worth around $30 million.
And how do you evaluate that number? So is it like you raise $30 million and it goes straight directly to you, or how does that work?
So basically, in our first year, last year, we transacted over 10 million dirhams. And this year, we are looking to transact over 4 times that number. And with the forecasting and the transactions that we are seeing, we have valued our company. And we also raised $500,000 seed funding round in our first 6 months of going live last year. This is how we kind of valued our company today.
And what was your aim? Was it an IPO, initial public offering, or was it just to assist with the digital transformation program?
All options are open, really. For us, it's just making sure that there is a feasibility, there is convenience, there is security in the problem that we are solving. And all options are open. We are here to help with the digital transformation. Any offers that are coming for merging offers or buyout offers. We already had some buyout offers. We had a $10 million buyout of a few months back.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, we already had, but we are open to all options. We see that there is huge opportunity in our market. Yeah, I mean, IPO is obviously a huge option for all entrepreneurs or most entrepreneurs. For us, it will be a huge opportunity. I'm just seeing that you've kind of reached to that level that you was able to exit in your company. It makes a great kind of success story.
That's a very good answer. And you're welcome. And what was your biggest obstacle throughout your entrepreneur journey?
In terms of obstacles, we are in the payment industry. The obstacles are always going to be regulations, which is a huge obstacle always. And the other obstacles are always going to be also, that is the security obstacles, the fraud prevention obstacles, the anti-money laundering kind of obstacles that you will always face. And yeah, these are continuous, non-stop obstacles.
And how did you manage to go about this? Were you previously educated on anti-money laundering and security, or did you learn that along the way?
We had obviously, so we've learned it previous to going live. We were part of an incubator program where we was brainstorming, designing our minimum viable product and stuff like that. It's called the Sharjah Entrepreneurship Center, and in there we had a mentor. We had a mentor who was already in the payment industry, who was specialized in payment and financials. So we've learned a lot in there, and then also along the way we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot. We've learned how to fix things, how to make things more secure, how to protect our platform, protect our customers, protect our sellers. Yeah.
And are the mentors from the UAE, or do they come from different places around the world?
The UAE is known for having for being a hub for technology in the Middle East. It's number one.
That's correct.
They come from different places around the world. Yeah, so there is a lot of mentors in here.
There is a misconception that, for example, you come from the United Arab Emirates, you come from Dubai. So why do you need to become an entrepreneur? The government supports you in such a way that you don't need to work. What do you say to that?
Well, I feel there isn't a government in the world that tells you don't need to work, and there isn't a place in the world that you don't need to work. It's a huge misconception. We work for our own inspirations. We work for the inspirations of our people, our governments. And I mean, even if you come from a rich family background or you've inherited a wealth that is of a huge, there is always a place in your inner self that you want to somehow kind of do it yourself, make it on your own.
Make it happen.
Sorry?
Make it happen. Just like you said.
Make it happen. Yeah.
Nice. And from 0 to 10, how technical must one become to operate a startup?
Okay, so in today's world, startup scene, tech startup scene is kind of different than how it was before in the times of Mark Zuckerberg and the Amazon founders and the Alibaba
Jeff
founders.
Bezos.
Yeah,
Jack Ma.
I mean, in today's world, you could definitely easily kind of white label solutions. You can find SaaS products online that are available. You can do some reselling. You can learn on the spot. There are lots of coding learning programs available online on YouTube, on some applications that allow you to code without the need of coding knowledge, websites that you can build without the need of any kind of technology knowledge, just a plug-in kind of plug and play, drop and go. In today's world, it's kind of different. It's what you want to do, what kind of projects you want to launch, and it's a lot easier and much more cheaper than even the times of finding Uber. At that time, Uber could cost $150,000. Today, you could find an Uber app for $2,000 to $3,000. So it's a different ball game today in the tech industry. A lot
Absolutely.
cheaper, a lot easier, a lot kind of like barriers of entry. Barriers of entry today in the tech industry is very low.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that right now is the best time to enter in the tech sphere?
Of course.
And what advice would you give new entrepreneurs? Would you tell them to start learning how to code or hire a CTO?
All options are good. Hiring a CTO, finding a partner who would come in with you as a business partner. Let's say you have zero knowledge in tech and you somehow find somebody who has 100% knowledge, or can fill that gap, and becomes your co-founding member in the team, has maybe 50% of the shares of the company or whatever shares that you guys could agree upon. Or you could go, if you have the money, you could go and hire somebody who if you can afford it, hire a team of developers, front end, back end, iOS, Android. If not, then maybe you can start learning if you have the time, if you feel that there is a lot of time. Let's say you want to launch next year or something. So do you spend this year in learning, which is quite easy these days, very easy to learn coding these days. It's available everywhere. You don't need to go to university for it. So yeah, all doors are open, all opportunities are open. It's up to you which path you want to take.
I like that you have an open-minded way of thinking. You like to keep all options on the table, so that if
All
plan
options are
A,
on the
for
table.
example, so if plan A doesn't go accordingly, you always have a plan B. And one last question for part one of this interview. What has guided you from a technical standpoint? Did you previously have technical experience with programming or coding, or did you hire someone to do that?
So I was kind of 50-50. I had some kind of technical background, a bit of knowledge here and there. I've done my own self-help, my own personal learning. I spent time learning coding privately. I also come from an entrepreneurial background, and I've done a few businesses here and there, not necessarily in tech, but it's kind of given me the background knowledge. But I did not pursue Foloosi itself as being a techie. I had a co-founder who is a techie. We built a team around us who are all techies. So we managed to build a great team, and we built an excellent product. But with that comes the fact that I did not turn away from the technical side of Foloosi. I'm still there. My ideas, the fixes, the inserts of and in the brainstorming discussions, I'm always there. I'm talking about the technical part. I'm always there because I have that background. So it allows me to be always there,
That was a really good answer, by the way. I really like that you encourage other people to learn how to code, learn how to program. Did you learn how to code on your own, or did you join a specific university program, for example?
Coding wise, I've learned it on my own privately. I joined a few online academies, and one of them had basically live classes from some universities, world-class universities, and we was able to take classes as if I was there, but online, and learn. And then I would go on some discussion forums, tech discussion forums, and see, learn a few things. I think I coded a game or something like that, a very basic game. And very good background knowledge. It allows me to understand how Foloosi works technically, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or however, whichever project I release in the tech industry, as a tech startup, any products I release, I am very sure that my hands have been in there, indulged in it fully.
Yeah, well, Elon Musk was a self-taught programmer, and he created his own game at 13 years old, and we're in our 20s, so we're not that far.
No, we're not that far. How about yourself? Are you into it?
I do have a bit of knowledge. HTML and CSS, although they're not programming languages, I'm trying to get myself into Java, and yeah, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, good luck, good luck.
Thank you, brother. So if you guys have any questions for Omar, please let me know, and we might go live to answer any of your questions. I have much more interesting questions for part 2, so stay tuned.
Thank you so much.